Before we take a quick look at God of War Ragnarok and its DLC, Valhalla, that comes completely free of charge with the base game, we are gonna take a look at what this PC port offers, both good and bad. The guys behind this port are Jetpack Interactive, which is the same studio that also ported the previous God of War game, so with their experience, I expect relatively smooth sailing for this launch. Unfortunately for many people in various countries out there, a PlayStation Network account is required for this single player game, as was sadly expected. Now, this PC port comes with all the goodies that you would expect, like DLSS and other upscaling technologies, frame generation, super ultra wide support, and unlocked frame rates of course. Buying any version of the game also grants you access to its DLC, which is called Valhalla. It is basically an epilogue and plays like a roguelite mode. You are stripped of all your gear, but still have all the weapons and skills maxed out. The whole DLC is a mix of story bits about Kratos, dealing with his past and future, and a bunch of random fights that get harder as you go. Some of the things you earn stick around, and others disappear after your death. In good roguelite fashion, there are also 5 difficulty levels, and you can change them between runs. And with all that said, here's a spoiler-free, quick rundown of Ragnarok, how it's different from the previous game, and what to expect in general when going into this. This is an action-adventure game, and it of course continues the story of Kratos and his son Atreus. The game world is bigger this time. It is not open world, but you explore various realms, so to speak, each with large areas to explore. There is a lot to see and do here. This is partly because the side quests are actually pretty good and worth doing. Combat is similar to the last game, but with some new tricks. Kratos can move around more easily, both in fights and outside of fights, and there are a few more options when it comes to using his Spartan rage. His son Atreus is more useful in fights now too. The previous game's combat was very good as well, but it could get repetitive with the enemy and mini-boss variety. They have definitely worked on this aspect here and included more varied enemy types. As you would certainly expect, the visuals, music and character designs specifically are best described as outstanding. It's likely not an aspect that is going to disappoint you. In terms of game length, without the DLC, a rough estimate is around 40 hours to finish. The DLC is gonna add another 5 to 6 hours on top of that, free of charge. This is a more than solid sequel that successfully expands on what worked in the 2018 game without changing things too drastically. This should give you a pretty good idea without spoiling all the cool stuff. Let me know if it was helpful, and I'll see you next time.